Hello, everyone. Lovely to see you. So we can go directly to awareness. The reality of awareness, the fact of awareness, this magical awareness. The vastness, the formlessness, and the aliveness. Awareness stands on its own. Does not require anything. Everything refers to awareness. Every experience you're having in this moment refers to awareness. Any thought which appears to you, any memory, any sensation, any question, any perception refers to this invisible awareness, this aware presence. One could say that our primordial experience is awareness. Our primal experience is awareness. And in fact, there is no other experience. There's no other reality. Anything that you get hold of and squeeze it and squeeze it until it dissolves in your hand, what remains is awareness. Even the absence of phenomenal experience refers to awareness, being aware of the absence of phenomenal experience. And the presence of any phenomenal experience refers to awareness, being aware of a perception, a thought, a sensation. There's no reality whatsoever outside of the reality of consciousness. We can imagine other realities. We can believe in other realities. But our imagination and our beliefs are made out of awareness, are made out of consciousness. All rivers and all streams flow to the ocean. As they reach the ocean, they become the ocean. But even as they're flowing towards the ocean, the reality is the same reality as the ocean, the same substance, water, the sense of personal self, the reality of that sense of personal self is universal self, universal consciousness. Your reality is this formless knowingness. It is uncreated, beyond creation, beyond conditions, beyond causality. Form, the impression of form, arises out of this formless presence, magically, because it is magical, like hearing or speaking, These words or sensing the heartbeat. The infinite forms, like in your night dream, the infinite forms of the waking state arise out of the formless conceiver and perceiver. It is not the other way around. Awareness does not arise out of any phenomenal activity. Phenomenal activity arises within awareness and is known by awareness. Consciousness, awareness, reality does not arise out of the phenomenal activity of the brain or the world. The brain activity and the world is your creation. But as you believe that you are a separate self, as you believe that you are phenomenal, as you believe that you are a mother, a father, a son, a daughter, you are perceiving yourself as material, as phenomenal. You're perceiving your reality as being brain activity or body mind activity. For no good whatsoever. It's a useless download, a useless belief. On the other hand, one could say it's just a game we're playing. What is the use of any game that we're playing? Just the fun, the joy of playing. So as long as you're enjoying the game that you're playing, why should there be any objection? If you enjoy the game of being somebody with a past and a future, with past regrets and sorrows and future hopes and ambitions. So be it. This is why it is sometimes said that there are no mistakes in reality. It's all perfect as it is. And if you are unhappy with your unhappiness, then you explore the way out of this unhappiness. Sooner or later, you realize that being a son or a daughter, being a personal body mind, is unhappy. And it is a belief, it is a costume that you put on every day without realizing that you are putting it on. What is it that suffers? Is it not the person? Because the reality which hears these words right now, the reality which knows it is directly, that formless awareness does not suffer. Consciousness does not suffer. The stream that's making its way towards the ocean, and just flowing, follows the riverbed. There's no issue because the stream knows itself to be water. I'm not going anywhere. I already am that. I am that. The home that I am seeking is my very self. I am water. I'm just flowing, gurgling. For no reason whatsoever. Maybe for the joy of it. So we live our life for the joy of it. We flow, we gurgle, we sing. for the joy of it. Because we know we already are that. We are the ocean, we are water, we are consciousness, we are awareness. We're not female or male body mind. We're not flesh and bones or atoms and molecules dancing. We conceive and perceive every moment, every instant, magically. The mind makes a narrative. We like the narratives, so we make narratives. We entertain narratives. But the narrative is just a narrative. Look at me, a huge river. Look at me, I'm a small stream in the Adirondack Mountains. Look at me, I am the Nile River. Narratives. Because in reality, it is water. We are the water. So beneath the costume that you are wearing, what are you in this moment? In this moment, in this moment. So if you have any questions, anything that you would like to explore, make sure you unmute yourself and you can raise your hand. Any questions? Hello, Holger. Oops, I don't hear you, Holger. Let me see.
Hello, Magdi.
Okay. Hello.
So sweet, this presence. I got from my father, my biological, earthly father in Germany, I got an email, and because I forwarded him my by letter to my daughter, I released myself by writing a letter to my daughter because they are moving away throughout divorce, and I just wanted to express myself, and I copied him on this and some other friends, and he replied back to me, and he said, "I'm I'm proud of you." And there's one part in me that just says, "So what?" Blah blah blah, but I can allow myself just to, even if it's maybe just a sweet sentiment, but it touched me so deeply. And it was because we had a respectful relationship, but there was always something, a veil, kind of a pain that we never could really address. And it was just such an amazing gift. And I could allow myself just to cry and for sure, it's just on one level, it's just a narrative, but there is some energy, some block or something that I just felt so lifted, so freed of. And it's just beautiful. I liked it. I mean, it's why not?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. And Magdi, you came to my mind, and if I were your father, I always would say, Magdi, I'm proud of you. It's so amazing, this whole thing, this waking up to our, I don't know the words. Amazing. And what a long seeming time of suffering and uncomfortableness and amazing. I don't know if this is a game. At least I wasn't aware that I was playing it. It's fascinating. And I thank you so much for your gentleness and your wisdom. Um, it's so precious. I mean, there's really nothing more important in life than just to to know what's what and not to be lost in the narrative, in the game.
Uh, I think the most valuable thing we can share with our parents and our children is our love. Is that we love them, and in a way, the most precious thing we can share with anybody is our love. That we love them.
Yeah, but to feel this love, this is so amazing. To feel it, that it's real. I mean, you can touch it almost in a way because
Yeah.
yeah. But I was so numb. I was so locked up in my tightness, in my misunderstanding, in my me belief. And it's so good to have those words available, the concepts that you share, the pointers like me belief or all those there because they help me just relax this contraction, this misunderstanding.
Even in our stubbornness or our resistance, we're choosing that's what we love. This is, in a way, a direction, maybe one could say a misdirection of our love. So we hold on, sometimes we hold on really tightly for decades. I remember with my father, I had this sort of situation. At some level, that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to hold on. I had my own reasons, meaning I believed my storylines. And so therefore my storylines were real and true, because that's where I stood. That's the stand that I took. And somehow it had its role and its place in this dynamic unfolding of life. But yes, it's really quite significant when we come upon an understanding about our true self, our true nature, which is the true self and the true nature of everybody and everything. There is a shift, a certain freeing of some of the patterns, some of the positions that we have been holding on to for so long.
And not to create a new narrative. This is so beautiful. Just to be empty and open. And it's such a release to be able to cry. I mean, it's so wonderful. And I'm not ashamed of it. I mean, it's really...
I have a tendency towards the crying.
I mean, on one level, I don't want to become a crybaby or something, but why not? I mean, it's a form of strength. It's a strength to be able to cry, to allow the feelings to come up and to just be empty and open and vulnerable and so precious.
Crying happens.
Yeah. And even our attitude and our stories, they also just happen, don't they?
Yes, yes. And understanding happens. And the transformative aspect of understanding happens. And simultaneously, there is the understanding about the non-happening, which can also happen.
It doesn't need to make sense. But it's not nonsense.
Yes, it's not nonsense, doesn't need to make sense, but it can be understood.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Thank you.
Because the understanding about the non-happening is a vital understanding.
But what a pain on one level it feels, like such a deep, sometimes I have the feeling I'm just crying for mankind or something. It's just so deep, and I don't know if it's love or if it's pain. And I don't need to judge it, and it's beautiful. It's kind of
At the surface of the ocean, there is a movement.
mm,
When the sun shines onto the surface of the pond, there's glitter. So there is room for that at a certain level. There is a room for movement and activity at the surface. But at the core, there is no movement. So there can be movement which does not displace the understanding. There can be movement which does not displace the non-movement. In other words, there can be movement within the non-movement, which means the movement is nothing else but the non-movement moving within itself.
Beautiful.
What is a non-movement moving? Non-movement moving is undisturbed peace. And yes, this undisturbed peace is not disturbed by sentiments for humanity or certain sentiments or certain physiological or phenomena or activities, crying, loving, whatever, whatever unfolds. The reality of all of that, like the reality of this conversation, is the stillness, is the non-movement. And
Amazing.
So why not this conversation? Why not crying? Why not telling my father I love you or whatever? When the activity is arising from non-activity, when it's arising from love, it's not separating itself from anything. There's no separation. It's just a flow. There is no personal measurement or judgment or project, program. There's a certain spontaneity, and we're open and available for whatever life is providing, or whichever way life is manifesting.
But so pristine because it doesn't go through the mind.
Yes. Right. It's pristine. I mean, it's consciousness to consciousness. It's a consciousness.
And not to exhaust myself. I'm so happy that in previous decades, I easily got exhausted by my own excitement.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so beautiful that I have that there is this understanding and that I don't get carried away in this surface activity.
Consciousness never gets carried away or exhausted. The body does, maybe. There's a noticing. But as consciousness, there is nothing being disturbed.
Beautiful. I allow myself to say, I love you, Magdi.
I love you too. Love you.
Okay.
Love you too. Any questions? Hello, Anye.
Hi, Magdi.
Hello.
Just wanted to share about how helpful this has been listening to you and Holger, because I've always felt that there's been a dynamic between me and my daughter. She's in the UK, I'm in Mexico, and I realize that actually that's an idea I had in my head that I was hanging on to. And I'm beginning to realize where I'm really coming from is guilt. And I find it difficult sometimes to message her or email her because I don't know what to say, because we're on such, I just don't know what to say. And this belief in my head that there is a dynamic between us. But I can see now that I can just let that go. I can let this whole thing go, the whole thing of guilt, of not being in the UK, this whole idea of a dynamic between my daughter and myself, and maybe now some genuine, spontaneous communication can take place, or not. Maybe it's not meant to be.
Right.
But whatever will happen between us now, because I know it's all in my mind, it's all me.
Mm-hmm.
And I can drop this whole idea now, and this whole idea of guilt
Yes.
around my daughter. And as I said, maybe now some spontaneous communication can take place with coming from love, not coming from guilt. And as I said, or not, maybe it is just all meant to drop away, and that is okay too. So thank you, Magdi, and thank you, Holger, for sharing that.
Mm.
You're very helpful.
Mm. Beautiful. Yes, and I just want to echo what you just said, Anya, that in letting go of our hold about guilt or blame or whatever, we clear the space, and in clearing the space, then there is room, the room for fresh, for something new to unfold.
Yes, yes.
So we don't want to keep crowding that state, keep holding on to narratives that we keep reinforcing. And the universe is full of surprises. We don't know, we simply come to an understanding, and this understanding you just shared is really, really precious. I had a similar experience in holding on to some blame rather than guilt and blame for many years. And it's toxic. It's toxic, of course, within your body, mind, and it's also toxic in the universe, because we're not separate from the universe. It's a form of judgment. We let it go. And yeah, as you said, you never know how it will unfold. Could be just thinking of you, hope all is well. You never know how, what arises for you or for her, because you're not separate, When you let go of your guilt, and you're no longer living it, and your body is releasing it, it affects the entire space.
No, it feels beautiful. So we'll see what happens.
Yes. Well, it's already a good start.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Anya. Any questions? Hello, Sudha.
Hi, Magdi.
Hi.
I have something rather not this deep, like people are talking about, but I still thought um, it's still a question for me, so I'm going to ask. I find that in most of the meditative sessions, either you or Francis or even anything I do, the more I connect and I relax, I fall asleep. I fall asleep. It's 15 minutes in, 20 minutes in, or at least for a few minutes there. And I come from a progressive path where discipline was important, everything, and then there's a lot of emphasis on, I don't know, the tamas, the tamas, rajas, and sattvic. Like sleep is tamas. It's not a good quality. I mean, we all need to sleep, but the body needs to sleep, but I have this guilt that I fall asleep in meditation. It's just that you're reading through, and I'm most relaxed because there's no expectation. I'm welcoming everything, and then if I'm welcoming everything, if sleep comes, am I kidding myself, letting myself sleep, or I have no idea whether it's right or wrong.
Right. Well, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not. I come from the similar tradition than you. I mean, it wasn't progressive path, but it was this Zen tradition of being completely awake. But on a different note, in terms of sleep, the body, about oxygenation. If it's a good idea if the body is prone to falling asleep during meditation, and you would rather not, because you're on freedom. Really, it's not. Again, it's not that you're doing something wrong. If you choose that you'd rather explore remaining the body awake rather than falling asleep. You can explore, for example, uh, opening a window slightly to allow some oxygenation in the room. That may be helpful. Also, of course, you probably know that already. It's a good idea not to eat before the meditation, but after the satsang to eat. And also in the posture, you sit comfortably, but if it's possible to sit comfortably at the same time, not to slouch, that also may help. Again, these are things I'm sharing with you at the practical level that can be helpful. Yes, yes. Now, in terms of guilt, well, it's a game you can play. I mean, I don't recommend it. uh, I don't recommend it. I would recommend that you explore, if you really, it's important for you to remain awake during meditation, to explore what practical things can be done that can that the body can somehow get the proper oxygenation and the circulation that keeps it awake. Because in sleep, there are physiological aspects, that are inducive to sleep, and some that are less inducive to sleep. It's changing topic a little bit. You know, for many years, you know, I used to do hours of meditation, be sitting on a cushion and doing hours of meditation. There could not be a day that would go by for years that I would do that. And then at some point, I started sitting rather than 7 days a week, it'll be like 4 days. And then later on was maybe 1 day a week. And at some point, I didn't sit at all. Didn't sit at all. And I remember some friends being really surprised. Oh my goodness, you know, you're not sitting. You're not sitting. But I was okay with that. I was completely okay. There was no inner issues whatsoever. So what matters is the inner, you know, to be at peace, to be at peace. And again, if you prefer to explore venues by which you don't fall asleep or you fall asleep less during meditation, you can explore that venue. But most important is that you are at peace. It's the most important is you are at peace.
I just don't. I mean, I'm at peace in the sense like it doesn't bother me that I fall asleep, or it's not like anything is. I know that I'm not going to lose out on anything or going away or anything, but it's just that somewhere early on I associated not being available or ready for the truth with tamas aspect and thinking of sleep as something. It's just the concept. These are all just concepts, right? But still conditioning concepts from the past and whatever. And somehow I just don't, part of me is asking, oh, am I taking the easy way out, saying everything is okay, is what I'm questioning myself.
What is this you?
I knew you were going to ask, who is this you? Who's asking?
Because there must be a you in there that you're speaking about.
Exactly. I mean, there's this, there is a me, right? It's not, there is a me that thinks, I mean, there's a me that enjoys meditation. There's a me that enjoys natural beauty. There's a me that enjoys good sleep too. So
what is this me that enjoyed? What is this me that's enjoying this conversation right now? There is no me.
It's
just the enjoyment or whatever. There's no words. There are no words
right.
for what's, there are no words for what's going on, really.
That's true. That's true. If you ask me to draw a picture, I wouldn't be able to.
You know, me too. I couldn't tell you. I don't.
I agree.
Yeah.
That is okay. There's a concept of me is how I have to remember. There is no real me. There is the concept of me.
The concept of me is useful when, for example, you have to be at work and there is the you that is doing a certain function, or you the sister, or you the daughter. It's application specific. The me is application specific, but it's not like across the board.
That's true. That's true. Yes, when I'm driving, I'm the driver, which is very application specific.
Yeah, so
me driving. Yeah, agreed.
But at some point, driving becomes automatic. I mean, at some point, you're driving, but you're not really driving. But if you're a manager, at work, and there is a question that only a manager can respond, can address, then it's really up to you, the manager, to come and explore the issue and talk to all the parties. And but the point is that we refer out of habit to certain, but at some point, we let them go. You know, we see at some point we're no longer interested in those narratives.
Yes.
Which, of course, I'm familiar with what you're saying about, like, you know, the proper way of being in meditation. So I'm familiar with that. But I'm pointing to a different direction.
And more than anything else, I think, who is this me who thinks there is something that can be wrong? I think that's where the whole thing comes, because I think it's the old seeker label within me who,
I mean,
whatever they thought
but,
they could achieve or whatever, it's difficult to let go of, probably.
But we know when we're engaging in something hurtful, for example, something deeper within us knows that's really hurtful. That's not respectful. That's not judgmental. That's not honoring other people's freedom. I'm on board with that. That's an important intuition we have about our behavior, you say. And that's a different thing, though, right?
I agree.
It's at a deeper level. Anyways, you know, if remaining not falling asleep during meditation is important for you to explore, I would encourage you know, to explore some of the
Techniques,
hints. Yeah, and then maybe others. I mean, I'm not.
It's not actually important for me, honestly. I'm very okay, but maybe I'm just making sure.
Making sure what? Making sure that
I'm not misunderstanding. I don't know. There is some uncertainty. Maybe I'm still new to this, being okay with whatever I am. Maybe that's what it is. It's very, for years and years, I've spent time and effort being a specific way, right? As a child, as a student, as a mother, as a,
yes,
you know, employee, right?
right.
And now there is this newfound freedom to be okay with whatever is happening, and I mean whatever is going on. Even as a student of truth seeker, right? There were rules, like, you know, on this process, progress, and whatever, viveka, vairagya, everything, right? So now it's like, just be. When I come sit down and say just be and welcoming everything and connect with yourself, there's this freedom and everything that comes with it, and the beauty of it, and the relaxation I feel in my physical body with it and mind. It's still new for me, honestly.
Yes.
So maybe I just have to make sure I'm
I think you become more and more familiar with the depth of being, you know, is so deep. You know, you can experience things at so many levels. You can experience deeper and deeper your experience. Whatever your experience is, it's bottomless. So it's new for all of us. Every moment because we are open. So we're open to discovery. We're open to some understanding. And we don't stop anywhere. It's not like, so yes, you are new, I am new, we're new in our exploration, our contemplation, and we are available. We're open and available. And we are this openness and we are this availability. You know, it's not like there is somebody who is open or available. We are this open and this availability.
The being truly available means there is no judgment of right and wrong, as you said, like except hurting others or anything else. And in small, it makes sense. Yes.
Yes, there is.
Thank you.
A tenderness towards everything, even maybe even in particular some of the challenging situations. There's an openness to all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of it, and
yeah,
sort of to sometimes the mind cannot get it, but it's okay.
Mm.
You know, there may be some experiences we're going through, where we cannot figure it out at the mind level.
Mm.
And that's okay. It's not, we don't always need to have it figured out at the mind level. But we're available and open, and we don't know what's the next moment. We don't know what may arise for us to explore, to say, to question, to close ourselves to. Sometimes are, no, I don't want that. So it's
Agreed. I
dynamic.
think I'm fine. I'm bravely experimenting more and more, being open and not having. Don't know how to explain. Just think this is the only way to enjoy life, or this is the only way to live life, or this is the right way, even.
Right.
You know, and kind of, and I'm realizing the depth of love that I'm able to experience with this openness.
Yes.
Even with my own children, I have 2 adult children, right? It's like, it is very beautiful. Like, she was pointing out, like, if you don't have this definitions, this is the way to be.
Yes.
And this is what a mother-daughter relationship or mother-son relationship is to be. It's like, and I mean, in the context of sharing too much, I didn't have the grace and beauty and everything that Holger said. When I went through my divorce, I was angry for years and years and years, and sad and blamed myself and my partner and everything. But even that's gone away, and I'm like, I keep asking myself, is this true or am I faking it? Is this true or am I faking it? But I'm like, I'm not able to be angry anymore.
Yes.
And
Right. I know.
because there is a sense of well-being, sense of steadiness and well-being this understanding gives,
Beautiful.
in spite of everything else in the outer layer not being what you want it to be.
Yes.
Or defend it to be perfect. And it is, gosh, anyway, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And thank you.
In God's eyes, it's all perfect. It's all perfect. All perfect. And we are loving, and we are the love and the freedom, and we honor the love and the freedom for everyone, including ourselves. And so that's and then life occurs, but we remain honoring the love and the freedom for us and for everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sudha. Very lovely sharing. Thank you. Any questions? You know, in the absence of any images, ideas, beliefs we have about ourselves, about others, we are just that same consciousness. we relate with each other as that consciousness. That's why sometimes we say, I know you as myself. I know myself as yourself. How else could I know you if not as myself? I mean, how could I jump out of myself to go into you? Now I know you. No, I know you as myself. Yes. So, and that's, of course, image free, because any image about myself is just an image. It's because I am not an image. I am the perceiving aspect. I'm awareness, I'm consciousness, I'm the knowingness aspect. What we refer to as life. Sometimes we refer to life as being the mountains and the countries, but no, life is consciousness. Well, very lovely to be with you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Anye, and Vitse, Sudha, Holger, Ma, Siman, Renate, Hi Malcolm, Rula, Frank, Hola Emmanuel, Oli, Lynn, Eileen, Jackie, and John. I hope I did not miss anybody. Thank you all. Very lovely to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you, Magdi. Beautiful.
Thank you, Magdi.